Alright guys, we have some work that we need to do in the fish room. I need to cut this into pieces and plant these. They've been sitting in the pot for way too long. Oh, these guys think I'm gonna feed them. Hey fellas, these are my trout goodiods. Oh, I love these guys. I need to get these planted. I'm gonna set this up to be a little stem plant grow out tank. So I'm gonna put some soil in there. I'm gonna put some rock and sand. I'm gonna plant them. I'm gonna fill it halfway with the water, and that way the stem plants can grow like immersed, like with a good bit of water, but still have enough room to grow out of the water and really take advantage of the CO2. Then I really need to set up these tanks here. I have some fish coming in next week. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but they're going to go in these tanks here and even down there. So we got some really cool fish coming. I'm really excited about these. They're really interested. Some of them I haven't had before. Some of them I haven't even heard of, but they're super cool fish. Did my research on them as far as water parameters, what they like, how to breed them, how many you need to keep in a group, tank size, all that. So they'll be coming in next week. I'm really excited about that. But we need to get a ton of plants in here for some of them. And then in addition to that, I got some creeping Jenny outside in the mini pond that I'm actually going to grow here. So that's like a marginal plant. It can grow, it's like a land terrestrial plant that can grow, you know, hanging in water and whatnot, but it can grow underwater, completely submerged. I've done it before and it does amazing. So we're going to plant that in there as well. So let's get that started. All right, I think I have everything I need to get this started, get it done. I'm going to use this bucket here. This is going to be a little stem plant container. So what I'm going to do is put some soil in here. I just got some garden soil from my garden in my backyard. We're going to put some in here, then top it off with some gravel and sand, and then start planting some of these plants here. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So this is actually Creeping Jenny right here, guys. I got it out of my mini pond, and it's really crispy and dry because it's growing, you know, terrestrially, and it's really hot. But it goes amazing underwater. I'm going to show you guys. But take a look at my dirt. Beautiful looking dirt, right? Tons of gunk in it. That's a-okay. Put a thin layer in. A lot of people say use an inch of dirt and then an inch or two of gravel or sand. Now, ideally, depending on how heavily you're planting, you're gonna want to use less than an inch. So like 1/4 of an inch, maybe a 1/2 an inch, then that's really all you need, and then you'll be good. You'll be good to go. So just enough to kind of coat the bottom of it is all you need. Then we're gonna get some of this rock here. Oh, I just washed it, so it won't be as cloudy. All right, putting some rock on because I didn't really have any sand. You're gonna really want to use sand whenever you're using dirt, otherwise it's gonna make the water murky, but that's okay in this instance because there's just gonna be plants in here, right? So we'll get it all nice and smoothed out, and that's what we're looking at. Let's go ahead and plant these plants now.
Just waiting for this thing to get some water out. I turned the water on, but I put it on low pressure. But I think I put it on too low. Oh, here it comes, here it comes. There we go. All right, let's see if we get a muddy mess or if it looks okay. Alright, so it's not looking half bad. A little cloudy. I didn't wash the rocks off as much as I should have. So it's a little, not as clear as I want it, but that's going to settle. It's going to get really clear. I want to add an Airstone just so the water won't look funky and it'll stay looking crystal clear. So I'm going to add that now, actually. Alright, so essentially all we're going to do is that airline tubing right there, we're going to snip it. I have some scissors. Then we're going to get a three-way splitter here. One end connects to one end that I snip, the other end that I snip. Then we're going to need a new hose that then connects to this Airstone, which will go in there. Now, it's not necessary. You can just leave it stagnant, but I think with some agitation, it's just going to look better. And eventually, I want to put a tiny what is it called, sponge filter in here, so I could raise some fry in here on occasion when I'm running out of room. Alright, we have it all set up now. I have the Airstone in. I'm going to turn the pump on and let's see if it's working. Oh, perfect. I love it. Alright, alright. Now the only thing is now, and this is the thing, when you do one thing, you create another problem. You look at this tank now, and there's no air coming to there. So I'm going to have to retrace that line and then increase the pressure so that it will go. Let's see if we can find it. So if you look at it now, you can see that air pump's going, the Airstone's going crazy actually. Maybe a little higher than I would want it. Let me turn it down a smidgen actually. It was this one. Too much. Alright, there you go, perfect. That's about the same, but that one's a little better over there. So it's gonna have to do for now. Alright, now the goal is to plant some of these tanks up here with all the creeping Jenny and the money wart that I have. I had to move the couch, I had to move it out of the way so I can actually work in this area now. So let's get that started. Alright, that's done. It's not the prettiest, but we're gonna slowly start just every like 2 or 3 inches. The whole thing's gonna be covered with stem plants. That's the goal eventually. I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back in order. I'm gonna show you what this tank looks like once it clears up. I almost forgot, I also need to add some Cryptocorn. This is little baby Cryptocorn that was grown in that gel, you know. So I'm going ahead and plant this. Once it gets a little bit taller, it'll have lots of access to CO2 out of the water and really start growing quickly. Once it is rooted and larger, I'm going to use these all across my different tanks. Really can't wait. And I also got this banana plant. I mean, guys, it looks like little bananas growing. Apparently, this is fully aquatic. This is like a newer plant I haven't heard of before. I've only seen a few times, you know, on the internet. But we're going to throw this guy in here, and it's kind of like Java Fern Anubias. You don't have to plant it. So I want to see how big this thing gets and what it looks like as it starts to grow more. Now, I also need to increase the live food that exists in my tank, you know, some of those microscopic organisms. So I'm using spirulina powder, and essentially I just put a spoonful into each one. This is how I feed my Infusoria culture whenever I need to. There's naturally copepods, Infusoria, paramecium in your tanks at all times. So if you feed them and there's nothing to predate on them, the population's going to explode. So that's the goal. So whenever I get the fish fish here, they'll just be live food everywhere for them to eat. All right, guys, we got that done. There's not a ton of updates to the fish room, but for those of you who haven't seen a video in a while, let me go show you what we have and what we're planning on doing. Just keep in mind, this is a recently set up fish room. I don't have that many fish in yet, but everything's ready to go. I have shipments coming in next week. I cannot wait, but let's take a look at what we have right now. All right, up top here, we have the Endler tank. You can see we have some really good looking Endlers, mix of female and males. Obviously the males are the colored ones, the females are not so colored up. That's kind of how it goes. We also have a couple blue-eyed lemon Placos in here. Where are they hiding at the moment? I don't see any at the moment. Alright, we're gonna have to come back. When one of them crawls out, I'm gonna show you. They're a little bitty right now, just babies. But if I see one, I'll show you guys. But this is the Endler tank. Down here is the Trout Goodyead tank. So take a look at these guys. Really good looking fish, a good size. He's about 3.5 inches. I got a group of 6 of them. There are 4 males, 2 females. That's just kind of how it played out. And we already have some babies up here. Look, that's a baby right there. That's a guppy. That other fat one, that's a Trout Goodyead back there. We have 3 of them in total, so they're already pumping out babies. They're looking happy. I love it. I absolutely love it. And the best thing is, these guys don't seem to predate on little fish. Now, they definitely can, but they prefer not to because I think they're lazy, right? They're really greedy eaters, but they're not going to chase after the food if they don't have to. But a beautiful, beautiful fish. That's a live bear fish. Love these guys. Down here we have just some Endlers to keep the tank cycled. The biggest thing here is this plant. This is a weed that I pulled out of my yard. There's a number of weeds. Oh guys, look, a tadpole right there. Now I have a mini pond and I pull out floating plants all the time. And I must have pulled out some with frog eggs. Now I got some tadpoles in the fish room. But anyways, this plant, a lot of weeds that grow in kind of, you know, puddles and ditches and whatnot can be aquatic. So I'm testing to see if that's the case with this one. It's been like 7 days since I put it in here, and it's looking pretty good. So I'm gonna keep it going, and I'll keep you guys updated. But that's this rack here that we have going on so far. The other rack over here, we have some Endlers in this one just to keep the tank cycled. We got a special project for these tanks. Can't wait till that happens. You just saw it put all the plants in there. I still got a ton more to do throughout the day because I want this whole thing just flooded. And then we have another Endler tank here and another Endler tank here. All these tanks will have different fish that I'm breeding, so they're not all gonna be Endlers, but I want Endlers in there just to keep the cycle going until I get the fish in. And guys, there's one of the blue-eyed lemon Placos. You can see kind of, he's on the back of that rock. Oh, I think he saw me, he's not moving anymore, but he was. Yeah, they're being shy today. Let me see if I can go around the back of the tank. No, I can't see him from here. Yeah, as soon as I walk back up, they go back into hiding. So we're not gonna get a good look at them. If I get some later on, I'll do a B-roll so you can see them. But they're just a cute little Placo. They're about this big. They'll get about this big when they mature though. So looking forward to that. Oh wait, here it is right there. On the side of that rock there. You see that little fella? Like an orangey looking. Look at him. Cute little fella. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up the updates for today. Thanks for tagging along while I did some chores. I still got to get more Creepin' Jenny from the garden and completely cover that guy with plants. I just want like every inch there's a bundle of plants because we got something cool going in there, and I'm going to need a ton of plants, ton of hides. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to that. I'll catch you guys next time.